After being pecked by a radioactive bird, a somewhat mannered Tuthill was compelled to become Kineas, the Skydude. That's right, Kineas the Skydude. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you might be in time and space itself. So, happy birthday to the Hustle Brothers Liam today. So Liam lives somewhere around here in Ireland. He didn't want to be too specific, and I understand why. You don't want to tell people where you live. And it's actually the county of Mayo is actually a little bit bigger than I thought it was going to be. So that's neat. So it might take a little while, not too long, and I think some of the best sites are at the very end. So anyway, we can't join Liam in the pub today. So this is the best thing I could think to do is fly around his home area and have a look at the place. Ireland is famed to be beautiful anyway, and so far I set the thing to do the route earlier to see if everything would be okay. And, yeah, very, very pretty. So, all right, well, let's get going. I'm also going to be playing some of the latest from the Hustle Brothers, Liam's shorts, his most recent shorts. And, yeah, I'm sure we're going to have the time. I'd like to play the latest daily news from the Hustle Brothers. I don't think he's going to be broadcasting today. He shouldn't be. It's his birthday. He should be out, again, you know, hanging out with the critters, taking care of the critters, or hanging out at the pub and being celebrated. So we're going to celebrate all the fine work he and both Dylan do in the EVTOL community. Thank you, fellas. Really, truly, thank you. All right, so we're starting out at Ashford Castle, and I think I actually have an audio clip for this from Bushtalk Radio. Let me see if I can pull that up here, and we'll get going. Ashford Castle. And Killary Harbor. No, not Killary. I think I have to log back in. I forgot to do this right when I got in, but it just takes a moment. That relogs me back into Bushtalk so I can recenter my plane on the aircraft. The aircraft. Hey, speaking of Germans, I'm so sorry for the folks that wanted to hook up with me earlier and do some group flying. I was busy trying to get all this set up and had to cancel your request to join the group. Maybe next time. Okay, here's the audio tour for
Ashford
the castle we're at.
Is a medieval and Victorian castle that has been expanded over the centuries and turned into a 5-star luxury hotel near Cong on the Mayo-Galway border, on the Galway side of Lough Corrib in Ireland. It is a member of the leading hotels of the World Organization and was previously owned by the Guinness family. A castle was built on the perimeter of a monastic site in 1228 by the Anglo-Norman House of Burke. After more than 3.5 centuries under the de Burgos, whose surname became Burke or Burke, Ashford passed into the hands of a new master, following a fierce battle between the forces of the de Burgos and those of the English official Sir Richard Bingham, Lord President of Connaught, when a truce was agreed. The estate was purchased in 1852 by Sir Benjamin Lee Guinness from the Encumbered Estates Court. On Sir Benjamin's death in 1868, the estate passed to his son Lord Ardilaun, who expanded the building further in the neo-Gothic style. Lord Ardilaun was an avid gardener who oversaw the development of massive woodlands and rebuilt the entire west wing of the castle, designed by architects James Franklin Fuller and George Ashlin. The new construction connected the early 18th century part in the east with 2 de Burgo time towers in the west. Battlements were added to the whole castle. The castle passed to Ardilaun's nephew Ernest Guinness and was later sold in 1939 to Noel Huggard. Huggard opened the estate as a hotel, which became renowned for the provision of its country pursuits, such as angling and shooting. In May 2013, the hotel was bought by Red Carnation Hotels, a group which owns several other boutique hotels, for €20 million. In its time, the castle has played host to many notable guests, including the Prince of Wales and his consort, the future Queen Mary, John Lennon, George Harrison, Oscar Wilde, President Ronald Reagan, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex, U.S. Senator Ted Kennedy, John Wayne, Maureen O'Hara, Robin Williams, Brad Pitt, Pierce Brosnan, and Prince Rainier III of Monaco and his consort, Princess Grace. Professional golfer Rory McIlroy married Erica Stoll there on the 22nd of April 2017.
Now, I don't know if that is an accurate what the place looks like. So, in a lot of world updates, they will go in and do handmade, crafted buildings. And I don't know if we have an update for Ireland. Again, that may or may not be what the building looks like. We would need somebody to go in and possibly create a handcrafted one. Doesn't look very castle-like, but, with ramparts and all that. So I'm suspecting it is not. Okay, one of the things that we love the Hustle Brothers for, and one of the things that they're known for, is being one of the exclusive channels following everything EVTOL, EVTOL, or VTOL in general, pretty much. There's hybrids out there. And they're also providing us investor news. Now, I've never been an investor prior to getting excited about Archer and Joby. And those are the two that I think that, most of the investing community is following. There's a lot of others out there. Don't get me wrong. You can be following anybody you want. But they're pretty much bullish on Archer and Joby, as a lot of us are. So I'll be doing this flight in both the Archer and the Joby. And again, I did the run earlier to get the maps loaded. And surprisingly, I'm able to go almost all the way around, doing my entire circuit on one charge, which is nice. Okay, let me get up to about, let's say 300 or 400 feet. We should be good. Let's go up to 500 feet, set that to flight level change. It's so easy to operate these things. We want to make sure that this thing is in FMS for GPS. Want to set my LHI assist off. That's pretty much all I need to do there. On my autopilot deck here, setting it to flight level change, dialing in my altitude, setting it to nav, and making sure I'm high enough to get going. Don't want to run anything while we're making our transition. Then all I need to do is press one button on the joystick, the left joystick, to make it begin forward flight and transition into full flight. There was only one major hill coming this way. That one, pretty much. That's all we have to be careful of flying in and out, is that group of hills right there. All right. So that's pretty much high enough. So this one button on your joystick does everything else. Again, the cockpit controls are very, very simple. Those are mostly some co-pilot stuff over there. Well, I say co-pilot. Some secondary stuff. Your primary stuff is on this side. Not a lot to it. All right, let's go. So I just pushed that thumbstick button forward one time, and it's now going to transition from slow flight into full flight. If you haven't seen the nacelles, hopefully I can catch this on time, make a transition. They already did the full transition. All right. Now let me turn on the autopilot. And that should now begin following the course. 320 feet. Come on, baby. Got to climb a little bit faster. You're coming down. What are you coming down for? Never trust an autopilot. Always make sure it's doing what you want it to do. All right, trying it again. There aren't a whole lot of custom audio tour stuff done for Ireland. Bushtalk Radio needs more people from Ireland to create points of interest audio tours. There are a few out there. We might run into a couple. All right. I think we're going to be good. Just keep an eye on that for a moment. Good. What I'm looking for here is to make sure that it's getting ready to follow the plan. So right now we are, I'm going to butcher a lot of these names probably. We're in the area of Kong. That one's pretty easy. C-O-N-G. We're heading for a place called, they need to make these text bigger. It's hard for me to read some of these. Neil and Cross. We're heading towards Neil and Cross and Kilmaine. All right. Beautiful. You know, so much of the world, it just has, you know, major cities and skyscrapers, and I'm glad that for the most part, right off the bat, I'm not seeing, you know, lots of skyscrapers, lots of buildings, and a whole lot of industrialization. As a kid, I always wanted more progress. I lived more in an area that was more like this. And over the years, I was just commenting with a friend today about how much development we've had over the years and just how a lot is unrecognizable now. And I wish I would have never had those thoughts of, boy, I wish it was more. Wish there was more development. So one of the things I noticed right off the bat, and what are the? There's a name for, not hedges, hedgerows, but the you know, everybody was real good back in the days about putting walls around their plots and getting every area its own. You know, so it's real clear. You know, my area, your area, and so things clearly delineated. Now, as I understand, Liam is a country person. Heck, that could be his place over there. He's got livestock and critters on his farm. And I love that. I really do. Wish I was in a position. Maybe one day, maybe one of these investments will actually pay off. And, you know, I sure would love to get back to a simpler existence. Still wouldn't give up my flight simming and my computer and all that, but I mean, sure it'd be nice to get away from the craziness, the insanity. And I don't want to be around all that insanity when things go pop. And you know, the way things are going, they just might. All right. So what is the first thing I have queued up here for Liam? The link to their homepage should be in my description at Hustle Brothers, and that should take you to their channel. If you would like to join the EVTOL news and investing community, again, probably the exclusive one on YouTube, the exclusive channel for everything EVTOL and ARCHER JOBY and Hover, Beta, Vertical, EHang, Horizon, and Honda, Toyota, Palantir, Anduril, they're related. Surf Air Mobility, anything to do with it, we're talking about it, they're talking about it. You got to join the live streams. There's so many knowledgeable people in the community. So when they're doing live, you should really jump in. If you have questions, comments, bring in your own knowledge. But if you definitely want to know what's going on, this community knows an awful lot. Very impressive. Shout out to everybody in the Hustle Brothers community. The ones I know and the ones I don't know. I mean, we're all quickly becoming family now. Okay, so let me turn the screen on. We've got Liam up there. Let me hide the Bushtalk. Please let me know if you should be able to hear him. Everything should be fine, but if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and turn down the environment noise a little bit. It's a nice thing about EVTOL and VTOLs in general. The EVTOLs in general is that they're so quiet, I guess. That's going to be nice. Turn down the environment. Okay. And knock it back just a tiny bit more. Should have done this earlier. Environment. Okay. And that should allow us to hear him.
The Joby Aviation. Guys, I'm not only happy because I got it right.
Restart this one.
One small step for the industry, and one giant leap for Joby Aviation. Guys, I'm not only happy because I got it wrong. I got it completely wrong. I thought this would not reverse anytime soon. But America did reverse. We've got some Joby Aviation news. We've actually 2 bits of news, and I'm really excited to speak about them. And you're not actually going to expect this because one of them dropped on a Saturday. One small step for the industry, and one giant leap for Joby Aviation. Guys, I'm not only happy because I got it wrong.
Okay. So yeah, there's been a big dip. So those of you that, bought the dip, yeah, I would be happy too, because right now things are looking positive again. I unfortunately, I thought I was coming in early. I came in late for Archer and Joby. I hate to admit this. I wish I could say, oh, yes. I bought 2 years ago when it was at $1. Unfortunately, I bought it 13 and 17, Archer and Joby respectively. Yeah. And I thought when I first saw that, I'm like, oh, that's a steal. It still is. And I thought that was it for sure. I didn't think it would ever drop. Either of them. But that's where they're going to stay, and that's the base, and that's the lowest, and everything's up. Nope. So I have a ways to go, and I'm in for the long haul anyway. Looks like somebody's doing some crazy mowing down there, or, dirt biking or something. Yeah. So he was congratulating you, and that's the Joby news. Things have gone up. Let's catch the next one. Wait, play. It's with you. Play.
And to me, it's a green light for the industry. Because this means US certification is only around the corner. I said very early on, when Joby starts rolling out the marketing, it's time. They've done their cash raise, and I said, they're going to need this money. This is what it's for. It's for the marketing as well. FAA certification is only around the corner.
Yep.
I'm certain about that. I actually think we could.
Me too.
To me, it's a green light for the industry. Because this means...
Iranian here with another pro tip for anyone who's not from the Middle East.
She is so adorable.
It's a green light for
How did I end up off the...
This means US certification is only around the corner. I said very early on, when Joby starts rolling out the marketing, it's time. They don't.
I wonder why it jumped over to hers, to Goldie's page.
I need this money. This is what it's for. It's for the marketing as well.
All right, let me get back over there. Shorts.
Joby, we haven't known them as being one for PR, one for pushing out the PR, and I was quite excited when they were in F1 in Austin, and I was really excited to see them across various air shows, Salinas, Osaka, You know what I mean. They put up this on February 6th, and it's from the Burj Khalifa. And it says, "To the skies above, thank you, Dubai. Your enthusiasm for electric flight is soaring. We can't wait to welcome you on board soon." They've lit up the Burj Khalifa. Joby, we haven't known them as being one for PR, one for pushing out the PR, and I was quite excited when they were in. This is US aviation at its finest. You are looking at an air taxi. They can take off like a helicopter, fly like a plane, and then land back like a helicopter. These are coming out next year and will get you from A to B at 150 miles per hour. Don't worry, it's not just in the US, it is all across the world. Let's do a vote. Would you fly in one of these over going in a car? Smash the like if you would.
Oh, any day.
This is US aviation at its finest. You are looking at an...
You know, in a lot of ways, this is more simple than driving your car. Because your car, well, unless you have a Tesla, I suppose, doesn't have autopilot. I can set up my whole flight plan and kick back, man. Just make sure that nothing goes wrong. Of course I would. I would love to. I would love to be your pilot in the future. I don't know if that's ever going to happen. You know, I might be a little too old for this now. But it'd be nice to join Archer Academy and become an instructor or pilot or whatever. But I would sure love to be able to sit in one. Gonna have to give up the pizza and the ribs and the hamburgers and everything, really. They're like, they don't even want you to drink coffee if you're a pilot. They're like, it encourages you going to the bathroom more. Really? Give up everything? You know, for flying, I think I would. I don't think I'd mind that much. Oh, but the ribs. I think that'd be the best part about being able to fly around. Finding the best places that serve ribs. Okay, so according to the Bushtalk map, we are in Ballyhaunis. Ballyhaunis. Let me make sure that we are on the plan. Okay, yeah, we're still following the plan. Okay. We should stop. Let's see. See how we're still doing great on our battery? I was probably going to switch out the Joby here, but we can actually probably make it more than halfway, at least halfway, maybe even over to EIBT. Either way, we'll switch into the Joby, maybe somewhere over here. Okay. What was that? What do we have next?
If you honestly believe that Archer Aviation will be $100 one day,
that'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? That
means the price for coffee is $100. Every time you drink a coffee, you are throwing away financial freedom. $100 at a time. 7 coffees a week, that's $700. You know what to do, my guys. If you honestly believe that Archer Aviation will be $100,
I would love it to go a lot higher than that. That'd be great. Unfortunately, you know, I'm like I said, I've never invested before, and as far as I'm an artist, so financially, not a whole lot of cash there. So I'm doing the best I can to invest as much as I can. One of their philosophies is, you know, like $5 a week. Where would you invest your $5 a week? And I'm trying to at least do that. Yeah, I would love it to go to 100. You look happier.
No joke, NerdWallet made it so easy to compare the best high yield.
They're playing ads over your shorts.
I didn't know some of these banks were even offering that kind of APY right now.
Hey though, I'm breaking it all down. I'll try to be as simple as possible We'll speak about everything, from the hopeful start-up to the next generation technology. Big-time partners, defensive moves, the money statistics, and then what's popping off next. I've said it before, whether you're a stock newbie or you're a seasoned investor in this space, this is going to be the ultimate cheat sheet when it comes to Archer aviation. Hey though, I'm breaking it all down. I'll try targeting the defense industry is such a smart pivot from Archer Aviation.
I was surprised it happened at all.
Commercial provider. This shift does spread the risk, and it locks in the likes of early military cash through them contracts.
Balogdarine?
Midnight.
Balogdarine.
So it doesn't only provide cash to the commercial side, but it also supplies confidence. Targeting the defense industry is...
Yeah. So they're partnering up with, if you haven't heard, with Palantir. And they're partnering up with Anduril, as I understand. And yeah, that is definitely, I didn't see that coming early on. I suppose it makes total sense, and more power to them. And they've got another division now, Archer Defense. Tiboheen Airfield in 408 in that area. And then again over here to our left says Balag Hadarine. Balag Hadarine. Again, what do I know about how to pronounce Irish words? Lovely, just lovely country. Just reminds me of that phrase, fences make for good neighbors. But practically not just boundary off things, I mean, sheep everywhere, critters everywhere. You got to keep them separated, right? Oh, it looks like we're not going to make that airfield. The flight plan is turning. All right, let me go back and let me find the
green light for the industry.
Let's find the latest Puzzle Brothers, and that was the latest live. And you really should join in when the live programs happen, usually daily. There's something live, because he likes the they like the interaction. And let's see, that was 22 hours ago, so that's the most recent. Let me put this on for you.
Your home's ready for an upgrade. Get the smart central heat pump that warms in winter, cools in summer, and uses up to 4 times less.
Now, I don't expect there's going to be a lot of visuals. It's just mostly Liam talking. So I'm going to keep the video mostly minimized or small. Or hidden.
Just before the Super Bowl. Not our usual time, but you know what? We'll keep it going anyway. How are we getting on today?
Hope your team won. I didn't watch.
James 007 first. Big man. Good evening. Copper tea already, my guy, so thank you. RB Fun Times, big shout out, my guy. While you get in there, do smash that subscribe.
Now I can concentrate on the flying part.
Every single day. I think we're gaining around 20 or so a day.
Yes, please, like and subscribe. Help them out. Help get them over 5,000.
Good Sunday to you. Cheers. Sunday even. No, my.
I might be in this episode.
Canadian, thanks for the pre-Super Bowl live EVTOL chat. Super stoked for multiple reasons. Do you know what? You guys are so buzzed about this Super Bowl. I actually might watch it for the first time ever tonight. I've never watched an American football game. Put it that way. It's not something that we follow over here. Some guys do follow it, but it's not something that...
I'd rather be at the pub with you, sir.
Dominic, big shout out.
I would have rather been at the pub with you, sir.
Member. Do you know what? Members, we have Drone Daddy there as well. What I'm going to start doing after the streams, I might continue to stream on for members only. Just because I don't do nothing for you at the moment. I don't know what you guys would want. Do you want a request on a video I can make? Anything. Do let me know what I can start doing for members.
We're in a place called Kill Movie.
Jonathan smashed the like button.
Kill Move and Brusna.
Do you know what, guys? You're getting smashing the like button during all these streams. But yeah, we're here for EVTOL Weekly. I've never watched Super Bowl. Yeah, nah, me neither, my guy. I genuinely haven't watched any American football at all. But EVTOL Weekly, do you know what? I need to start with Joby's ad yesterday. On a Saturday, putting it out. My God, you know it's big when they're putting it out on a Saturday. But I'm going to start off, first of all, with the Burj Khalifa. So there, on February 6th, I put up a video about it. I don't really want to bring it up.
I should go up a little bit higher, and we got a hill up ahead.
Last time I shared my screen, then Dylan's audio went funny, so I might not share my screen. We'll see. If Dylan doesn't come on, I'll share the screen and show the ads. But the Burj Khalifa, they did light up Burj Khalifa with PS4 and Joby Aviation all over it, ready to take over the skies. And I say
setting it to 900 feet flight and hitting the flight level change button. Simple as that.
It's going to be in use for.
Rotate that and hit that.
They are going to need money for marketing. I said when Joby start marketing, Joby weren't mad for marketing. So when Joby start marketing, we know we're close. And this is a signal to me. If you're lighting up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai,
right,
it's a sign that they're...
That's some money. Can you imagine how much that cost? Oh my gosh. Probably more than a commercial at the Super Bowl.
3 days later, 2 days later. No, it was a day later. The 7th. It happened on yesterday. They went and showed they've wrapped livery on Uber rides all over San Francisco and San Jose. And it's all to do with Super Bowl weekend. But what are they going doing with that? So, from my understanding, you get inside these cars that are wrapped.
Oh yeah, this is interesting.
But they've integrated Joby into the app. So what now happens is you get in, and if you like spin your phone around the car, it looks like you're inside the S4. It's going to show you what it'll look like during transitions, flying around, and then from my understanding it'll sort of show you where the designated vertiports are going to be. So it's going to build a bit of excitement, especially we need to think anyone that's watching this is either bullish on the whole eVTOL industry or look, you know a little bit about the air taxi industry. But I'd say 95% of people don't even know these exist. 95% of people don't even know that electric aircraft exist. And the thought of getting in an electric aircraft. Or it could be the thought, it's sci-fi like, that you can get in a vehicle that's fully electric, take off like a helicopter, fly like a plane.
Let me pause right there for a second. Folks, I've been doing my helicopter training, part of the career mode for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And the thing is, I've got everything pretty much simplified. Because you really can't. I mean, you can do a helicopter with just a joystick in the simulator. You'll be all right. You can get through 99% of your missions. It's the precision you need to get a superior rating to open up the last ones that's going to be a little bit tough. I'm having a difficult time. All I can say is no, never. I never want to have to fly a helicopter the way they currently are. If they can come up to this level of technology like in the Joby and the Archer, it would just change everything for helicopters. Okay? But right now, I would never want to fly one. Right now, I've been flying hands-off since we pretty much started. Right? Come up to the altitude I want, dial in the speed, transition, turn on the autopilot, maybe do a flight level change here and there. We're good. I haven't touched the controls. In a helicopter, folks would be dead in the first 30 seconds. Helicopters are, and I understand in the evolution of aviation, the evolution of helicopters, it is what it is. But you have to be a special kind of human being, in my opinion, to fly them. And until they reach this level of simplicity and ease, I would never, ever want to fly one. This is the kind of flying I want to do. I want it to be more Star Trek. I think they can even, Archer and Joby can. I have no doubt that they can simplify it even more down to a one joystick experience. We're a generation of one joystick gamers with Sidewinder twist. I completely believe they can bring the cockpit controls down to a one joystick Sidewinder twist experience. And on top of that, they're going to be introducing things that we can't even imagine yet. The IGX Thor, an AI you can talk to help you fly, flight plan, monitor your situation. It's going to be great. Helicopters.
All come out like a plane. So, I do think you could get quite a major run this week, just on the excitement. The amount of people that are now going to look, what is Joby Aviation? Because they've never heard of it before. But then it begs the question that what
Hitma. Kiltma.
Available on YouTube. Enjoy the latest releases.
At 420 to our starboard side.
Your favorites on HBO Max,
Knock coming up.
MGM Plus, and more.
Basilica of Our Lady of Knock.
TV on YouTube.
Queen of Ireland.
does it mean for Archer? Because Archer's partnered with LA and all to do with the 2027 Super Bowl. Joby are already pumping out PR on the 2026 Super Bowl. Dylan has a really nice theory as well that may happen during the Super Bowl. But I'll wait for Dylan to jump in.
Did anybody watch the Super Bowl to confirm or deny this?
Let me jump
Because
in.
I didn't.
Are we going to ignore the Dow hitting 50,000? We can talk about that if you want. Any chance Joby has a Super Bowl commercial with Uber? You're thinking along the same lines as myself and Dylan. We think, look, I'll just say it. We think there's potential for a Joby Uber commercial or an Archer Aviation commercial for next year. Because they want to build hype and excitement around the whole Super Bowl. And what's better than telling you that they'll be there at the next one? I don't know. Maybe. Do jump in and let us know. Do you think there'll be a commercial there?
Yeah.
I know.
Did they play any Archer or Joby commercials?
I think Mr. Beast is doing a commercial with Salesforce. So he jumped in heavy on Salesforce. But I don't really reckon that that's going to move Salesforce. I think Salesforce will move itself. I got wings and I'm ready for snacks. I mean football. Hello all, big shout out.
That's the best part about Super Bowl. The food.
Football. The fans got absolutely nuts when their team scores a home run. Do you know what?
If this team scores a home run, a touchdown.
That's what I was watching today. My team Arsenal are top of the league. We haven't won the league in 22 years.
Oh.
And we were going to go 9 points. Well, we were 9 points clear. And then Man City beat Liverpool. So it's now down to 6 points again. But no, I'm all gas for that.
Congratulations. I mean, good luck to your team. For sure.
$15 calls on what? Rodney. What are you... On Joby? I hope you mean Joby.
Speaking of chat, let me check my own chat.
That'd be...
No, nobody's chatting.
Massive run. I don't know about that. I have called this stream Archer and Joby will 2x. And I genuinely believe Archer and Joby will 2x over the short term. I will get into where I see it going over the long term. Rodney, a 2x over a week. It's more than a 2x, that'd be, would it? Be about a 2x, so that's 730 at the moment. Good luck. I believe it'll 2x. I don't think it'll 2x over a week, but over the short term, I do believe it'll 2x. Dylan is here, my guy.
Hey. How's it going? How's it going, everyone? How you doing?
How are you feeling about the Super Bowl? You all excited?
You know, I'm excited. I think fatherhood is kind of taken over the last 2 and 3 years of being super tapped in, but yeah, just kind of in that sense of getting a chance to sit back and maybe relax for a few hours. Yeah, it's exciting to see, and hopefully everybody got all their predictions in, and hopefully the prediction right, no matter which way you went on them. Yeah. How's your son?
Look, I don't know, am I allowed to say this on YouTube, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Guys, does anyone bet on the Super Bowl? And if so, who are you betting for? What you bet on? I have no knowledge on American football whatsoever.
I would say probably one of the largest. I would say it's definitely the top televised event. So if you go down kind of U.S. commercial television ratings, Super Bowls probably hold like top 15 of the top 20 like aired events in the last 30 years and such. And so prime time on the cost for Super Bowl ads. And yeah, I think with not just the inception of the apps we can do the predictions on or the betting on, also all the prediction markets. So even for the fintechs that have loaded those in, you know, it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, some people, they like to rock with the parlays and get a few things together to hit. And it's always that one leg that doesn't, you know? So, but yeah, we might throw a prediction or two in there. Not sure who's gonna win it, but yeah, gonna have to predict something. Gonna have to figure out the prediction. Yeah.
Just before you jumped on, I don't know, did you see, the guys were saying, could we expect a Joby Uber commercial come up in the Super Bowl? And then I was saying that we were sort of toying with the idea of, could we see a Archer commercial during the Super Bowl? What do you think the chances are of seeing either happen?
Why is everyone using Ninja Transfers?
Ninja Transfers is definitely killing them. The quality, I mean, the design came out crisp.
I hit up my boys at Ninja Transfers. Yes, they do send.
All right, so let's see. Top of the head, if I'm going to put a percentage on it, and I don't know if this is too bullish, but I'm going to go 10% chance that we're going to see it. Don't want to get too ahead of the skis and saying
what do you think is more likely, Joby or Archer?
I want to say Archer. Now, in the back of my mind, though, you know, I do think of the presence that Joby's been taking in Dubai lately, and kind of more of a have our products seen, kind of have the public able to come up and view and continue to get that. And I believe it was on Oliver's X, I believe, marketing gentleman from Joby, that had some Uber SUVs that would have had the S4 on the side as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of helps kind of counterbalance my scales. But actually what I was thinking upstairs, which again, maybe a hopeful thought, would be some way in which these companies would collaborate, and it wouldn't be a one or the other commercial. And
also more about the industry.
Almost, yeah, almost.
Pause there for a second. We are coming up on, we're doing great on battery. Still have half a battery, but I am going to switch up to a Joby here at this airfield up ahead.
Having a smash together of at least the two products, the S4 and the Midnight, and kind of having, maybe almost like a Department of Transportation feel behind it, or like the next wave of this is coming in. But I do think that speculation, you know, I think the optimist side of me would be like, all right, I'm going to keep my eyes out for the Archer Aviation commercial. And then I don't know if you would say logical or just kind of keeping the feet on the ground side is like, if it shows, that's awesome. And not just for the portfolio or what we could see waking up tomorrow. Again, I think that's the industry leading in, as again, it's going to be one of the, not just it kind of counter. It's going to be one of the most viewed commercials that you're going to have, but again, it's going to come at one of the highest premiums for your company to air it during that block. So, and again,
you need to be pretty sure you're going to be rolling out to be firing a commercial up,
right?
Well, to be fair, but also, you know,
but Archer did do it with Usher.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I don't, you know, whether it was too early or right on time for what the timing of it was. If they were able to pull one out of the bag a few years ago, you know, it gives me enough curiosity to stay tuned to the game to see if there might be maybe a little revelation of some EVTOL news that could come out of it. But something else got me really excited actually around seeing SFO. And seeing all the private jets that it got chartered in. So it just kind of, again, leads me into next year where we'll be a year further ahead in our certification timeline, again, further ahead in the UAE rollouts, and then looking at the next Super Bowl being held at SoFi Stadium. So again, having those points of connectivity to Hawthorne, and just kind of wondering what that show might start to look like a year from now. With everything kind of coming together. So yeah, a few exciting pieces of the Super Bowl, absolutely.
Yeah, for anyone that has only just joined us, Joby have wrapped the SUVs around the place, and if you actually jump in one of these, they've integrated it into the app where you can actually sit inside the vehicle, scan it around, and it looks like you're flying in the S4, and it'll tell you where the vertiports are and everything. It looks cool. But then it made me think as well.
Yeah.
So they're open about they will be on the Uber app. So does that kind of make the Elevate OS app redundant? Because I'd say 90% of people that are going to be using these will then want to marry it up then with a Uber, etc. Like a car ride after it.
That would make sense.
So then it's like, is Elevate OS just going to be a collaboration with Uber and integrate it straight into the app? Or, like, I'm just so confused. Why are you going to run it on two apps when Uber are just going to have it on their app anyway?
You know, I think a great question, and yeah, it would be interesting because it's not, you know, in the app world, I'm trying to kind of piece the puzzle together in my head, and it's not like traditionally it's like you're gonna click your rideshare in this one app and it's like gonna hyperlink you over, you know, and be like, oh, now we're gonna get you to like the NetJet app or something like that, because you've taken an Uber. You know, most likely you're gonna land and then inversely jump NetJets, or NetJets, you know, if you need maybe get an Uber Black or something like that to head to your final destination on that trip. But yeah, it seems if you have your rideshare app, and then you would have generally either, I don't even want to call it a special feature, just a special section, you know, where it would be more your aerial ride sharing versus your car ride sharing. Maybe the only little kind of seesaw balance I can think is just in the early rollout, would there be any user confusion where maybe somebody was intending to book X, getting Y, or, you know, going backwards BDAY or something like that? So maybe that would offer towards a new platform. But yeah, I mean, if you already have so many people already accustomed with that Uber app and being able to pop into it, seems like on the face of it, an easier way, and also to connect, like you're saying, your point-to-point rides, where you're going to connect also, maybe also pre-plan out your pickup from the house to vertiport, and then already having your car scheduled to pick you up from vertiport to take you to final destination too.
Yeah, guys, how do you feel that it's going to work? Do you think you will see a redundancy of the Elevate OS? Do you think they'll start pushing further towards Elevate OS, or do you think it's going to be an amalgamation of both? Do let us know. Christian, big shout out, my guy. Go Hawks, go Seahawks, Jonathan says.
Okay.
Sean Trade says, hello, fellas. Big shout out, my guy.
Hey, Sean.
Putting 10K on Patriots. Big money, my guy. I couldn't go gambling with like 10K, you know. Not that shit.
You know, it's funny. It's like I can talk to my buddy about stocks, and he might not even have a stock app on his phone, and he's more into like the gambling and stuff. And I can talk to him and be like, or even the ones where you can do like more casino games and stuff, you know, like bet on a roll of dice and stuff. And I was talking to him when we went to a local basketball game a few weeks ago, and I was just like, man, I saw this 500 on a dice roll online, and boom, you know, up in smoke, there it went. And I was just like, I just couldn't see, you know, I couldn't see myself doing it on the kind of algorithm possible dice rolled game. But yeah, I mean, but when you do get into kind of the sports predictions, somewhat like your equity stocks, the more research that you have and can do, you know, on the individual companies or in these points, the players and the teams, you can always kind of try to give you that little bit of leg up. And then just kind of been looking at the differences and balancing what you'll have again in your DraftKings and such, and pairing against your prediction markets. And, you know, I think everybody in that world trying to find the best edge that they can. Maybe like the EVTOL world as well, you know, getting the best edge you can and, you know, getting ready to take off. But yeah, it should be an exciting night. And for anybody, I hope it's a win for you.
Fasty and C, Chris, how are we getting on, my guy? Wrapped SUVs. Guess I'm missing a bunch of news, gentlemen. Yeah, if you jump across to...
Need a getaway from winter?
Uh-oh.
Car, or just
darn commercials.
Whatever your reason, we won't judge. At Number One Hyundai in Motor City, the getaway sales event is on. Deals on over...
I should have left my plan.
Discounts from $17,000 off. 0% for 72 months. Take a break from car payments. Get our exclusive 30...
Joby's X. They have the wrapped SUVs on that, and the ad that's gone out with Uber, and they also have they lit up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
Trying to figure out the best way to do this.
Q4 all out.
Let's see.
Happening. Eric Guaya, Biggie here. Love your show. Very informative. Thank you so much, my guy. Do you know what? I may not do a live tomorrow. I don't know. Will I? Won't I? Do you know what? I'm turning a year older tomorrow.
No, you let me know
tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey, happy early.
I'm older,
happy
I'm
early.
So I don't know whether I'll do a live stream or not. I'll let you guys know.
Stay young, my friend. Stay young. And real quick, one of the things I was looking into Joby.
There we go.
When you were talking about kind of sealing up, going for that Q3 rollout, it looked like the first border port. And that would be near the, it was near the international airport in Dubai. It's looking to be about 60% complete now and looking to aim for Q1 finish of 2026. So,
all right. So loaded in the Joby now and truncated the flight plan to start where we landed. And now I need to change the time of day again. Dun, 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 dun. Make it a little more atmospheric, a little bit later in the day. Put a little color in the sky. See if the morning is more orange. Still very pretty. Yeah, let's make it at least a little bit later, so not so much direct sunlight. Okay, the Joby. Very much like the Archer, it can't take off and land like an airplane. And I should have probably demonstrated that in the Archer. You can take off and land like an aircraft. I should have probably come in and landed on that runway, the grass runway. Now this is only just straight up and take off. The similarities, again, the very simplified cockpit. Still two controllers. They don't have foot pedals. That's good. So they've eliminated that. Okay. It handles the transition for you. Let me see about recharging. Unplugged, plugged. Set this 32 times. Let's get a full battery. Here's the door controls. You can see the battery pack. So this will handle the transition for you. As when when we were in the Archer, I showed you on the thumbstick the transition and detransition feature. This one will handle it all for you. Camera is moving awfully fast. There's your headphones underneath the seat there. They don't have the displays like the Archer does. Archer's just a tiny bit more big pimpin'. Is that a screen there for you? No, it just looks like you might be able to raise that up for a laptop or a snack. They're both amazing aircraft, just the same. Okay, we're full. Close all the doors. And autopilot is basically the same here. That's not, I'm sorry. What am I thinking? The Archer's a little bit more big pimpin' because it has autopilot. Now, that is not to say that future versions of any Joby will or will not. I mean, if they're going to be using the NVIDIA Thor, they're probably going to have autopilot. This version of the simulator does not. Okay. So we'll have to follow our flight plan. Here's the range on the map. That's on the inset map. Map settings, let's use the map range. That's on the inset. I don't play around with this one enough, but again, pretty straightforward. I think we're going to have a problem. Okay, let me open up the flight plan on this little screen over here too. Oh. Okay. Pull back. Up and away. I might have, it might be actually going backwards. I don't have it in neutral. Okay, so this is an interesting screen. You can see where your throttle's at. So pay attention to the little circles, the dots, balls in the screen there. So now we're going 12 knots backwards. 10 knots. 6 knots backwards in reverse. There's neutral. Okay. Start moving the thing forward. I love how you can control your speeds. I love it. That's just, again, when I first started flying, I'm like, man, I can't believe we don't have any way to more fine-tune dialing in speeds, and this makes it so easy. There's 3 knots, 2 knots, 5 knots. I love it. Worth its weight in gold. Just tuning in, happy birthday to Liam of the Hustle Brothers. We're doing a special flight around Mayo County, Ireland, which is his neck of the woods. And we can't be there in the pub with him, so we'll fly around the area and wish him well. Happy birthday. Okay. Put the throttle all the way forward. $35 knots. Pull up. I don't want to hit that tree. You see in the animation, the transition of the nacelles to the one outside. What happened with the animation? The propellers ain't spinning. It happens sometimes. It's a bug. Don't think that your experience will be the same. It's just a bug. Okay, so we're at, we were 30 knots. I don't know what O2G is. But over here it says we're doing 134 knots and we're climbing. Let me get back down towards the ground. We don't want to be high for this sightseeing tour. And I will try to get back onto my GPS route. Logue Con Airstrip. Probably wouldn't fly this thing so aggressively either. It's really pitching her hard, but you can. But she's not super high performance, but again, it's meant to be an air taxi. It's meant to be very simple and very safe, so anybody can hop in and fly this thing and not kill yourself. And this is why Joby and Archer are big news right now. If you really haven't ever heard of EVTOL and what the big deal is, or you've been seeing the news and you're like, what is the big deal? What's the big deal about these aircraft? But there's Star Trek, Captain Kirk. This is Star Trek, the beginning of Star Trek flying technology. Star Trek in aviation. Right? Would take you years and years and years to train a good pilot. And hopefully get a good commercial pilot out of it for the FAA. You know, they've been freaking out for a generation, wondering if there would be enough qualified pilots. Because it's so hard in traditional aviation to train pilots and get good ones that haven't killed themselves. And that have huevos of steel to be able to even do the job. This is the answer to their dream and their worry and their nightmare. Because really, a good day in any one of these, anybody can fly. Your grandmother could fly one of these in half of a day. In a few more days, teaching her the electronics and the avionics, or even your grandmother's probably still part of the video game generation. Maybe. Anybody who's part of the video game generation will not have any problem learning your instrument, learning the computers, and learning how to instrument fly. It was definitely a lot harder for our older generation transitioning over to the digital. But it is not a problem for people born in the video game generation. Instrument flying is, the training on it's going to be so simple for you. Don't let any of this stuff intimidate you at all. You know, it's built into your system already. You know, it may look different. It'll take you 5 minutes to figure it out. But if you can operate a smartphone, you can operate any of this stuff. It's just a different screens, you know. But again, don't let anything intimidate you whatsoever. This is so simple now. Everything's touch screen too, and dial in things. And Cross Molina Airstrip. Okay, get back on the plan here, and let's hop back out, get more scenic view. And I'm not sure why that bugs out sometimes and doesn't animate the propellers correctly. That's not what we're going to be looking at anyway. All right, let me get back to the Hustle Brothers. Got about a little more than half to go.
Like we were saying, kind of in the last one we got on live, kind of with the calm down, trying to ease the nerve streams and stuff.
Oh, I need to turn the HUD on.
Just again, seeing where if there is turbulence in the U.S. markets, what other kind of picks and shovels or, kind of side angles of the build out structures that are going into the EVTOL networks. So always interesting, again, to tap into those and to see that those timelines are still projecting towards, again, because to have the rollouts, we are going to have certain infrastructures or those partnerships like from the JetXs and such also coming to fruition. So excited to see that continuing to get built. And it'll be interesting to see what kind of the ribbon cutting ceremony on the first vertiport out there in Dubai
That's what I want.
is. So yeah, very cool. Very cool to see come along.
And then, Dylan, I've named this stream ARCHER and JOBY Will.
What?
And I believe that'll happen within a relatively short term. Now, I know one guy up there is very confident on that, and he's doing $15 calls for Archer for the 20th of this month, which I think is absolutely wild. But look, you'll be laughing at me if he ends up being right.
Well, and like you said, Liam, it's just kind of crazy as we get into February, and being February is a short month. And like we said, we know that, you know, FAA is a catalyst, EIPP is a catalyst, but just as close as we're getting into kind of those March 20th dates and more maybe getting those selections fully announced out by Department of Transportation and stuff. So sorry to cut you off, but you just kind of have my brain thinking actually, again, kind of closing the month, entering one, and almost feeling like we're in the middle of another. Just again, as time progresses, getting closer to each one of those different catalyst timelines. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, because when I put out my original video of believing it was a easy 2x over a relatively short time horizon, we were down at 6:30, and I couldn't see a reversing. That was probably it was probably that night I recorded the video after we had our live during the week.
Big games, big finales, big relief. Get 100 plus channels of live sports.
And like, the start felt like it was on the floor. It felt like there was no reversals coming. Like I said, don't be looking at your portfolios for 2 weeks. And the very next day, we ran. And we ran nicely. Now, I only got 50 shares of Archer. I can't believe it, yeah? So me calling this, that, and the other, and I managed to only get 50 shares of Archer, none of Joby, none of Horizon Aircraft, none of Vertical Aerospace during that pullback. And it shows you can know an awful lot about this space, but some things just happen.
That's so true. That's so true. And with that, you know, I was curious, kind of as the macro conditions have been so bad throughout the week, as it kind of turned on Friday, I was just kind of curious. I'm like, okay, options expiring, like, are we just going to continue to crush the market to kind of get through this week? Let those options
one would hope so,
or expire out on those. And yeah, just like you said, you know, it seemed like Friday the momentum picked up. So, you know, it'll be interesting in just the macro landscape if that does carry into this week. But you know, it's nice to see that the strength in the beta names are having that chance to have a more, you know, a little bit of that V shape, you know, not a spread U shape recovery as those are coming back up. So yeah, I think it's one of those times where, you know, as it goes down, it can be like, oh, I want to stay away from the market, you know, stay away. And then, you know, once it's getting green, it's like, wait a second, what's going on here, you know? But no, don't blame you. And yeah, what we have seen in this early month of February is unpredictability. So I hope up and to the right, but nothing to say that in 2 weeks something crazy couldn't go on and smash the high beta. But yeah, I don't fault anybody from either side. The hold, the buy, for the first time in a long time, I was below my cost average on Archer there for a while. So, but for me personally, held tight and looked around at a few other names and saw if there were some buying opportunities also in the, you know, broader landscape of the EVTOL. Yeah. And did the best I could.
Big shout out. Max says, happy early birthday, Liam. Thank you so much, my guy. Will we see revenue producing flights this year? Not for Archer Aviation. Joby, you could say that Blade are operating revenue producing flights.
True.
But as the S4,
yeah, and I apologize that the animations are not working, that they bugged. It doesn't always happen, but of course Murphy's Law. you know.
It depends on FAA certification happens. If it happens before Q3 rollout in the UAE, I think you could see revenue generate flights before the end of the year in the US.
Okay, that's the way we're supposed to be heading. Dune Carton radar station.
And
then we'll be heading back down the coast.
I have to, as much as I, want the U.S. to kind of keep the foot on the gas and continue pushing through the certification and the timeline, I just don't want to get too far ahead of myself in thinking that it will happen prior to GCAA adoption and entry into service. But with that said, and again, going back to successful vertiport build out, I think in the UAE, and I think the balance is going to be whether these are being conducted as market survey flights and really just kind of more in the like comped flight, or are we doing no passenger flights, but they do say commercial ops are to roll out prior to the end of 26. That so far is the guidance that you'll see floating around. So to that guidance, and Joby's continue build and get a few more manufactured, I do think that there's a chance of seeing them. Yeah, absolutely. I do think a chance of revenue.
Dang. I see you didn't mean to type that. No problem, my guy. February 6th, White House action announced the administration signed an executive action establishing an EVTOL integrated pilot program, which is Mercury interpreted. That happened way before February 6th. Will we see a flight that proves an air taxi is possible this year?
I like that question. Yeah.
I would think so.
Do you?
I agree.
At least one.
I think that 2026 is a big year for the EVTOLs, and I think with the strength that Joby's shown in really just sticking to the type conforming and pushing through, looking to get through TIA, again, having the DARs, the DERs on the floor, and UAE. I do really think that would be possible this year, and it'll be interesting come these next quarterly earnings calls, what we do hear about it, and if that goalpost is kind of moved back any. But if they stick to that guidance as well on this next earnings call, again, that's just more investor confidence in my mind that we are steering towards the right way of hitting those projected timelines that they have. So yeah, short answer. Yeah, I think we can see a flight that proves it.
Joby would not be ramping up everything if they didn't get a wink from the FAA. I actually agree with that. I think they have some sort of signal. I'm not saying that they've been told they will be certified, because that can't happen unless they are certified, but I do believe they have some sort of signal. I don't think they would have. Yes, it looked beautiful last week when they had diluted just before big rundown, right. But they didn't anticipate that happening. I don't think they would have raised and especially by that much, if they didn't sort of get a wink that they're going. They don't need 1.2 billion if they're not actually going operating. So I would be on the understanding that they are pretty certain they're getting FAA certified pretty soon.
Yeah, and like you say, even in the sense of getting the wink, even just factual behind the doors when they are looking to go through, and we'll get updates again, I'm sure, on the shareholder letter on where they're currently at in the certification process. But again, if they have started that process and if things are going good inside the building, maybe that is giving the C-suite more of a green light to say, because we kind of have seen with Joby, they're, I don't want to say slower to PR or quieter with PR, but was maybe more hesitant to kind of roll out the PR regarding their flights or their particular aircraft. So yeah, kind of marrying in the PR that we've been seeing in Dubai with also going through the certification process to marry in, again, like you're saying, Liam, to your dilution thoughts on that as well.
Pause that there for a moment. In Bushtalk, we've got a point of interest coming up here. It's one of the only ones we've had on this entire flight, but there is an audio tour for the Mullet Peninsula. This whole area in general, coming into it right now. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio tour now. Maybe.
Ashford Castle is
No.
and Victorian castle that has been expanded over the centuries.
That's weird. It's gonna, and I'm gonna crash the thing. Up.
Galway border on the Galway side of Loch Corrib in Ireland. It is a member of the leading hotels of the World Organization and was previously owned by the Guinness family. A castle was built.
It doesn't want to transition to the next one.
1220 English official Sir Richard Bingham, Lord President of Connaught, when a truce was agreed.
What is going on here?
In 1852,
We try to refresh the page. Always something.
The Mullet Peninsula
There we
is
go.
also known as the Mullet and sometimes as the Erris Peninsula. It is a peninsula in the barony of Erris in County Mayo, Ireland. As of 2016, it has a population of 3,963. It consists of a large promontory connected to the mainland at Belmullet, a town of about 1,000 inhabitants, by a narrow isthmus. In the northwest of the Mullet Peninsula, a site for testing full-scale ocean wave power devices has been selected between Frenchport Pier, Anna Head, and Cross. This site will be the first time full-scale devices have been tested off the west coast of Ireland. Prototypes have been tank tested in Cork and scaled models have undergone testing near Spittal in Galway Bay in recent years. The wave energy potential in the Atlantic Ocean between North Mayo and West Donegal is one of the best in the world for the development of this new renewable energy technology. Several device types are being tested off the Mullet Peninsula.
All right. Double check one more time to see if there's anything else coming up here. Achill Island. We're going that way. Take a look at my flight plan again. And we need to come down. We're way high. Dulug. If I'm pronouncing that right. Dulug down there. Coming down. No, I don't think we're going to catch those.
Yeah, if not just a wink, maybe also some company confidence that's kind of showing through the doors with Joby as well in that.
Then Christian White, happy birthday. Thank you, my guy. Yeah, I'm a year older.
And I need to get the EVTOL emoji soon, you know? I start seeing that one pop up. I would love that.
Revenue, 2026 revenues, Hawthorne Airport should generate 10 million all year. Summer defense contract could be in. Where did I see that Hawthorne generates something like 22 million?
On the call, he had mentioned that they were EBITDA positive. Can do a quick check on the financials of Hawthorne, but to keep in mind, even on the initial earnings call, to annual revenue,
doing great on battery power.
That Adam did say,
fantastic.
Of Hawthorne in the Archer lens as like
I heard Hawthorne was very busy for the Super Bowl.
So almost in the sense of like, it's EBITDA positive, so it's not like we're going to be burning cash to kind of keep up that airport and, you know, kind of do any like reconstruction as if it had to have like kind of new face put on or a whole new rebuild. But yes, I definitely see that as a positive. And Hawthorne's segment sales were 52.1 million. as of Q1 2025, which ended December 28th of 24. So, yeah, I would say about on average, that would make sense, as you probably also have maybe a decline in the airport traffic as you were leading into them looking at the potential sale. And, you know, if it was something that was a crazy revenue generating property for either the owners of Hawthorne or the city of LA, it may be no need to change hands at that point if it was, you know, generating you $1 billion of cash every year on that piece of property. So, yeah. Great to see this EBITDA positive. Continue to bring in any capital off the top and fill that thing up with PJs as soon as you can. Come time to expand that out to any LAX operations as well.
Customize and save with Liberty Mutual!
Guys, there's 100 of you between X and YouTube. Smash that like button. It helps us get out to more people. And if you want to see that wheel spin up above our head there, do smash that subscribe button. We are edging ever closer to that 5,000 subs. Do you know what I can't believe, Dylan? It took us 7 months to get to 500 subscribers, yeah?
Yeah.
And last month, we got 510 subscribers.
Oh, pause.
Thank you.
Pause. There is a bush talk for HL. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. HL Island here. Let me get to that.
Achill Island in County Mayo is the largest of the Irish Isles and is situated off the west coast of Ireland. It has a population of 2,700. Its area is 148 square kilometers. Achill is attached to the mainland by Michael Davitt Bridge, between the villages of Goban Corra and Pole Wraithney. A bridge was first completed here in 1887, replaced by another structure in 1949, and subsequently replaced with the current bridge, which was completed in 2008. Other centres of population include the villages of Keele, Doona, Dumhar Age, Doonib Here, The Valley, and Dugout. The parish's main Gaelic football pitch and secondary school are on the mainland at Pole Wraithney. Early human settlements are believed to have been established on Achill around 3000 BC. A paddock dating from this period was found at the Crannog near Ducanella. The island is 87% peat bog. The parish of Achill consists of Achill Island, Achillbeg, Inishbiggle and the Corone Peninsula.
All right. See what else is up ahead here. Dun, 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 dun. We're supposed to be making a turn. The bay it says the bay out ahead of us here. Blue Bay. What happened? Did I overspeed? Oh, no, you know what I did? I was moving my camera around, and I wasn't paying attention to the terrain. I flew into the top of one of these hills. Whoops. I'm so sorry. I want to kill you on your birthday. If the animations work now. Darn it, now it's going to take me forever to get back down there. That's what I did. I was using my camera to go, my drone camera, instead of actually raising and lowering the aircraft itself. Just threw the camera up. Set the thing. Nope, the animation for the propeller still is not working. Raise this up a little higher. Sorry about that. That's why we need to have IGX Thor. I do anyway. Kineas, there's a hill, Kineas. And at that point, it can hopefully take over and go, you're too dumb to be flying this thing. I'm taking over. Have you been drinking? I will neither confirm nor deny. Drinking for Liam's birthday. Fawn Glass, Clare Island Lighthouse, Clare Island. Okay. Oh yeah, I wanted to turn here. There's some interesting, really interesting looking, a lot of tiny little islands over here. It's really interesting looking. So stand by and try to get us going in the right direction. Yeah, you're starting to see all those over there. A very interesting area of land coming up. Yeah, this was part of the flight plan here. You can come down again. I believe there's going to be another major hill till we make a major turn south. This is an area called Mulraney. Mulraney, we're passing Mulraney here. Then ahead is Newport as we go around the bend. And then the south is Mina.
I'm chilling, my guy.
Thank you all for checking this out. No, I really appreciate it. I, you know, and again, I always kind of take that back to just as the community grows, the public adoption coming in. So it's, you know, it's interesting. And if you're a newer investor into any of the EVTOL companies, feel free to drop in also what perked your interest in it, you know, what kind of brought you into the space and what has you excited kind of moving forward. So definitely curious thought for anybody new joining the space too.
Then jumping back across, Mac, at what price do you see Joby, Archer, and EVTOL, so that's vertical airspace, in 6 months and in 1 year? 6 months is very hard. I'll tell you why 6 months.
I will neither confirm or deny if I'm smoking.
The catalyst we are saying
during this flight,
year, to narrow that down in a 6 month time frame. Like I said, the catalyst over the year for both Archer and Joby, a military contract for either of them, and are we going to shorten that down to that could happen within 6 months? Potentially it could. But I feel like giving it a year's scope is a lot better. Q3 rollout.
Isn't this wild terrain?
I don't know.
I love it.
It's a very hard one. I've stayed with Joby, I believe, will hit $30 this year. I don't know will it close at $30.
Sure.
But I believe with hype, with excitement, it will hit $30. I'm going to stick with Archer. I believe it will hit $20. That was my call for last year, but
that was a good thought.
I believe more than ever we will hit $20. Vertical aerospace. I was actually very worried. Remember when I said I was going to enter vertical aerospace last week?
Yeah.
I think it had a low of like 403, and I thought if we break that $4,
sure,
it's going to get very dangerous.
Sure.
I know some of you guys have been trading it, and that's why I'm not too fond of it, because I know how many people trade it. Could you see it climbing above 7? I don't know. I'd have to look properly at vertical aerospace.
I agree with those. I agree with those thoughts, and you know, something you had kind of tipped on there for my brain was, you know, with some of these equity stocks, are they a trading vehicle for most, you know? And then we kind of know that being an equity buyer, you might be getting in at quote unquote the wrong time for, you know, the share you purchased that day in a 1 week, 1 month, possibly 3 month, you know, calendar look back at that purchase. Will Vertical be able to double their market cap within a year? I would say that they would have a tougher shot than Joby and Archer, even though their market cap is substantially under what Joby and Archer would be at. I just, as we've gotten a lot of the retail sentiment into Joby and Archer, maybe we're seeing that start to flow into Vertical. But like you said, you know, in the buy and the holds, you know, growing enough investor confidence to have really retail at the beginning, kind of holding the legs and being able to spread that out across so many different of these EVTOL companies. And again, being able to withstand any of the drawdowns in those stock prices as they go in, and have those be a buy the dip opportunity, again, inverse to, like you're saying, Liam, where you may have that opportunity to have those Wednesday through Thursdays of last week be some general trading, swing trading accumulation periods. And then once, anybody would get to their cash out point, whether it's 10, 15, 25%, whatever their mark is, maybe pull the trigger and then just look to re-enter on a 10% decline from their purchase as well. So very good thoughts. And I do think, based on today's prices, that there is a chance within the next year for both of these companies to double their market cap. I think there's enough catalysts on the table, even though there could be some buy the rumor, sell the news catalysts that will be coming up. I do think that there's enough catalysts on the table, but I will stand with this being with both the FAA support and then the GCA support. So if we see that start to waver on either end, that's going to be obviously a huge red flag and one to take notice of. But those would be one of the two situations where I would kind of really pause and look to see what sort of doubling that could happen in a year. But yeah, with continued support from both FAA, GCA, and we really don't get to talk about the Asia market that much, but I kind of say that only in the sense of just where kind of the lean-in infrastructure, government, and aviation authority, kind of regulatory bodies show so much support. So it's not to count out the Asia market, but I think that again is going to be the third leg as we kind of have these vehicles or aircraft start to enter again, whether it's GCAA or FAA airspace first, and then broadening out to the Asia customers as well, that both Joby and Archer both have the MOUs and on the books for as well, like ANA and Sorkel and all those partnerships. So, yeah.
Would you ever be interested in buying into EHang? It's one I've always thought of staying away from.
So far, I'm still staying away. And the first reason that comes to mind is I really want to see the global expansion opportunity for any of these companies, really the global reach or global expansion opportunity.
I have a few pennies in EHang.
In the eVTOL space, and I'll just be curious to see how much of that expansion that
may put more later, but
versus having, again, your Jobies, your Archers, maybe your Verticals, being able to tap into those markets and take a little bit of that market share away. So, it might start to kind of slice the pie up a little bit. So I kind of have to keep an eye and kind of run the TAM on that. But what I will say again, as EHang, continues to push forward, seeing the acceptance and the adoption of the type of flight, again, gets me excited to see, again, on the backs of the UAE and the US, how eager they are to bring this mode of transportation on in to their countries as well. So not yet, but even with some recent news on Horizon, I actually was like, okay, a little bit of manufacturing information that came out. So a little bit.
Okay, we're getting towards the edge of the county here. I think it's just right over this hill. Then we're kind of like back to where we took off from the castle. So, yeah, Ashford Castle's straight up ahead. So we've done pretty much the full circuit around. Let's do another good look around this side of the coast, and then we'll swing back in towards the center. Yeah, pretty mountainous over there. At least they've got some. It's nice when you got a little bit of variation in the terrain. Everything's just not so flat. Those are really lovely too, and they're not real jagged or menacing. Nothing about the terrain in Ireland seems very menacing, which is, I love it. I love it. Rather be riding horses. Beautiful, beautiful. It's been a very beautiful flight. You live in a very beautiful part of the world. All right, let's zoom back out, get back to our GPS to spin around, and then I'll do it direct to. Pardon. A direct to EIKN on not. Did it take it? Set it up, but it's not changing it to the active plan. What if I can change that down here? What's it called? Ah, darn it. I'm so stupid. It is EIKN. So once you know the name of the airport, again, just come down here really quick. I hit just direct. Let me go back. I hit direct to. You can set it up in flight plan, but direct to, just type it in. EIKN. That's simple. Hit enter. Hit activate direct to EIKN. Now, if we look on our map, you see it's immediately generated the flight plan for us, the GPS. And if we had an autopilot, all we'd have to just do is turn it on at this point. But let me turn to get onto it. So simple, folks. So simple. And I've been flying most of the flight hands off. Again, in any other aircraft, you just can't do that. This is so easy and controlled and precise, and I love them both so much. And you see, we haven't used for all that. We haven't used much for our battery. I mean, a little over half, but that's fantastic.
Pieces of the puzzles that we had been looking for,
get back down
together. So kind of looking in that kind of, for me, almost in a Archer Aviation sort of style, like an outsourced sort of manufacturing. So really starting to acquire those manufacturing partnerships.
Whoops,
and
going too fast.
One,
you can't overstress it.
I'm just going to say the letters. I apologize if it comes together more as a name, but RAMPHs, so like
right here,
Composite Solutions. Who was formerly Apex Composites.
So if you're going to want to do a dive, you're going to want to put it into neutral.
And what I thought was interesting was medical industries. So that was also something, because we've kind of heard and known that Horizon was so interested in tapping into really that medical response, emergency response sort of area. So seeing them as a partner was kind of interesting, additional piece of Hover's puzzle coming together for me. And combine that and putting the fuselage on the
she loves to climb and go high
at the Brant's facility in Burlington, Ontario. And then again, we know we got the PTA 6 from Pratt & Whitney's, and that'll be the hybrid electric system, and then the partnership with Motion Applied, and that designing motors and powering the aircraft, as well. So just want to make sure I didn't get that wrong for the hover lovers out there. I was like, let me make sure I get it word by word, because I know they'll tear me apart, because I know they know their stuff. So if I'm going to speak on hover, I'm gonna try to dot your I's and cross your T's. I'm gonna try to come correct on it. So but that was cool to see though. And just a little side thing, I was reading a book to my little young one. I was giving him a bath, and it was like a book called like The Incredible Machines or something like that. It was titled. So we're flipping through, and we get to the very last page, and there's a Harrier jet, and all of a sudden, I mean, this book I should have looked at it.
OG Harrier jet,
90s, early 2000s. Definitely didn't look like it was made yesterday. Is just my point on that. And just again to see the words VTOL pop out of a book, it's just like, whoa, like this is my world. This is what I love. And all of a sudden I'm reading a book, and although it's older technology and something that's been around for a while, it did also lead me into kind of thinking about the types of missions that individuals that are in those C-suites and running operations for Hover have been in. And then I was kind of going back to thinking of the inducted fan technology, and just again kind of pairing that with maybe what somebody may have experienced if they've flown that jet themselves. And then
it's a little bit older. I haven't flown it in the simulator. I think that's one of the ones you have to purchase. It's not available. And it's definitely old school. And some people say it's a bear to fly. What I would recommend if you're getting into Microsoft Flight Simulator to check all these out and you want to check out other types of vertical takeoff and landing, that you check out the F-35. The F-35 is also one of the easiest jets I've ever seen in my entire life. Normally, military aircraft switches knobs everywhere. They've kind of got it more simplified, way more simplified for the video game generation. And to switch between hover flight, vertical takeoff and landing, and full flight is so easy in the F-35, and transitioning is so easy. Normally, when you point an aircraft at the ground, it's like, oh my God, I'm, pulling a dangerous maneuver. Even when you're pointing yourself straight at the ground in the F-35, it's like, oh, I feel entirely safe and comfortable. So I flew the F-35 way before I even knew about Archer and Joby. And I'm like, man, I've seen the Osprey. And I'm like, that's it. The only thing I love them, but the only thing that I don't appreciate is that it's going to take forever for this technology to make its way to us, mere mortals. And then all of a sudden, Archer and Joby come out for Microsoft Flight Simulator. By the way, if you get it, they're free. They're included. They want you to know about Archer and Joby. So don't think, well, I'm going to have to buy Microsoft Flight Simulator, then I'm going to have to buy the Archer and the Joby. No, they're included for you to become aware and fly them and understand just how amazing they are. Just try flying anything other than the Archer and the Joby. Especially if you've never flown, try flying a helicopter. Try flying anything else without knowing anything about it, and then jump into the Archer and Joby. And you're like, oh my Lord, I can't believe how simple this is. Really? This is coming to us, mere mortals? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me slow down. I heard there's a basilica over here. Basilica of Our Lady of Knock, Queen of Ireland. Now again, these aren't custom, so I don't know how good or bad the structures may or may not look. That looks pretty darn good. I'm trying to slow down into a full hover. And not run into the basilica, Ineos, please. Don't embarrass yourself further. Okay. Beautiful. And they have their own hover pad here. Some things in the terrain the AI hasn't figured out how to do, like it does not know what to make of any of that over there. So it'll just lay down photogrammetry. Looks like ruins. What do I know though? I don't know what all that is. Put it out of reverse, put it back into forward. And make our way down to the helipad. It's wonderful. Again, hands off the controls. I just set it to where I wanted, and now I'm just letting it eke forward. As I said earlier, I've been trying to get through all my helicopter missions, and they're a bear. It's hard doing with the joystick and without a precise... This is an old school one, not one of the new fancy digital joysticks. I really need to get one of the new ones. I need more precision with the helicopter. Not that you can't do it, it's been very difficult. And I don't like it. I mean, I don't enjoy flying helicopters, really. I mean, it's okay. But then you fly one of these and you're like, man, no. Given the choice between flying one of those and one of these, flying one of these all day long. My first lesson in the helicopter was spawn in, raise the cyclic or whatever, the throttle. The next thing I know, I was dead. And then the next 5, 10, 15 tries, raise the cyclic, you're raising your throttle to start going up, and I'm dead. I'm spinning out of control and I'm dead. So then you have to really learn how to fine-tune your controls. Once I got that down, spun around and I was dead. And then I died again and again and again and again. Then I found out that there's some assistances you can turn on to make things a little bit easier for new pilots in Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I didn't die right away, but other things that I've done, I have killed myself. It's so different. What I hope they add, and they should, in the Archer and the Joby and all EVTOL, you know, like they have backup cameras for cars. You need landing cameras. Sometimes in some of these, it's not so easy to see exactly where you want to be. And so they really need to give us some undercarriage, under fuselage cameras so we can really, really, really nail our landings. Because, you know, I mean, you can cheat and always hop out to one of these. See, I didn't even nail it perfect. I thought I was really kind of closer to dead center. Just... Yeah. Okay. Let me put a little oomph for the battery and keep flying around until the end of this video of theirs with just a few more minutes. Happy birthday again to Liam. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you to the other hustle brother of yours, Dylan. Thank you both. Really appreciate what you do. And it's been a fun ride.
And progressing that into the Cavalry X7 and kind of pushing forward with the prototypes and getting the full scale on that too. So yeah, it's just kind of crazy where maybe once you start getting into EVTOL, you kind of start seeing little clouds of it like everywhere around you and stuff. So yeah, that was a cool little highlight.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and the YouTube Music app all together. One subscription, 2 apps. Try 1 month free.
Brian Lynch, go Archer. We've got an OG here, been investing since 2023. Love the channel.
Nice.
I'm a big Archer fan. Big shout out, my guy. If you ever visit Cork, make sure to say hi. I will, my guy. I've only ever been to Cork once in my life, and that was probably about 15 years ago. So, big shout out. If I ever be down that side of the country, I used to, I was managing a shop down in Wexford for a while, my guys. But, no, I've only been in Cork, done once. Bag of Holding is pretty adamant to stay away from vertical. He has always said that. He hasn't just said that.
Sure.
I do remember him always saying stay away from vertical. Playing some FNV, listening to some EVTOL chatter is the best. Z Stacker.
Oh, Z,
big up, my
man.
guy.
That's so cool. Thank you, man. That's so appreciated.
Mac is showing his appreciation. He did buy 10,000 of each company last week. Do you know what? If you just hold out for the long term, do you know what? I have to say this, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Investing is so easy, yeah? We make it hard. Look at that last week, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
I actually commend anyone that held throughout that. Look
Yeah.
at where you are today.
True.
And again, look, nothing happened within the eVTOL industry to make us bearish on the industry. So we knew it wasn't an eVTOL pullback. So,
Yeah.
look, you may have to go through that 100 more times before you get to where you want to be. But, like, just do it again. Just maintain. Now, that is not saying hold through everything.
Sure.
If there is negative news that breaks your thesis, that's
a good quote.
No.
That's a good quote. That breaks your thesis. I like that. I like the way you put that, Liam. That's a good way to put it. That breaks your thesis. I like that.
Zed Stacker used to have 10,000 shares of Archer, but got less bullish on Adam and sold out. You sold the whole lot.
Ooh, ow,
Still
ooh,
bullish on
ow.
company and ultimately bullish on the whole sector.
I wish I had that many.
Archer make it. I have no doubt. Both
Ah, man, that'd be wonderful.
they make it.
That'd be a dream come true.
Way up in my head at the moment. I'm trying to align myself on which company I think is going to make it bigger.
Well, what I see with Z2 is, it seems whether he's holding Archer, I don't want to misquote that maybe he shared some Horizon holding news as well, but I don't want to misspeak, but also on the Joby where, even if it is that like confidence in Adam that he may have lost, that's okay. It doesn't seem like he's lost the confidence in the eVTOL industry. So that's kind of just more my basic point on that, where, I think at this point in time, free to, yep, absolutely, Z. I think it's definitely a time where it's still free to form your thesis and, decide if there's a leading horse in the race that you do want to go with, just in a general portfolio size. But if we're kind of swapping from eVTOL company to eVTOL company, or riding a run up in one and then adding equity shares in another, again, we're kind of showing love to the eVTOL industry, regardless of that, even if it's a buy or sell in an individual company name. So, love Z's investor confidence in the industry. I'm with you.
He does believe that Horizon will make big money. Do you know what? I don't only want Horizon to make big money because I'd want to be in it, but I just, for you guys, I know you guys are so passionate about it. WHD says, would you address Archer's production strategy? Yesterday I mentioned expect 300 units yearly being produced in 5 years. Now, the only thing I'd say about Archer's production strategy, myself and Dylan tried to deep dive that after a live stream one day.
Yeah.
And some of it looked a little bit unrealistic. So we think they may try and follow something more like we're seeing from Joby, because this hasn't been reiterated in a while now. If you can remember, do you know off the top of your head, Dylan, what they were expecting?
On which year? Were we doing the 650? The 650 projection? Or were we looking at
2027, they were projecting something absolutely wild.
Because it wasn't the 48, was it the 96 that we were looking at? Because it wasn't like double.
Yeah, it was 96. It was double Joby.
That's
and
what
we were like,
think.
there's no way they're going to double Joby when they don't have an FAA certification.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough. And running the numbers, like WHP said right there, if that was to come to fruition at the $5 million sale clip, I believe that would be $1.5 billion in sales of aircraft for that particular year. So not too bad if so, not too bad if so.
Won't be too bad, but how achievable is it? Like next year, I can more or less guarantee they're not going to make 96 next year. Because FAA certification, when are we expecting it? I would say around Q2 next year.
5 years, huh? Okay. let's say,
It's a weird one, though.
I don't want to put it, and I'm trying to be honest with this, but I don't want to put it completely out of the realm of possibility. I think, both of these companies working with automotive manufacturers, which, you're going to hope, which is going to lean into just basically the speed and the efficiency, possibly some learning of the tools of the trade, bringing in that expertise from both the manufacturing partners. And, I know 300 is a lot from where we sit today, but, if you do hit that green light on FAA, I think that's where I go back to kind of also giving enough time for these companies to tool out the production facilities. So, again, if we have these fully tooled out in a year and a half to 2 years, that puts us, 2020, late 27, early 28, so if we can get, let's say we get 100 aircraft off the line in 28. If we double that for 29, that's 200, or let's even go 175-ish or so. And then if we can double ramp manufacturing from there, that kind of puts us at WHP's 300 mark for 5 years. So, I don't want to be optimist. Yeah.
WHD is going with this, though. What would you project Archer stock price to be? Because we got a wild stock price from him yesterday.
All right, 1.5 billion in sales.
Please don't come out with the same figure.
We're going stock price. All right, give me 20 seconds as I knew it. So we're gonna ramp production, which means we're also going to have a larger presence in, I would say, again, this is all hypothetical, so not financial advice. This is me just talking off the top of my head. But that means we're going to have more presence both in the UAS, the US and the GCA and UAE, as well as, and I would see that folding into the Asia customer partners as well. Would we then be seeing? Oh, and also not to forget, we have Ethiopian Airline as a launch edition partner and customer partner as well. So, man, 1.5 billion market caps right now. It's just under 5. They're already holding the cash.
The Foundry is comprised of a 12-bed co-ed adult residential treatment.
I don't want to be too like, I'd love to slap like a 20 on it this year, a 30 on it next year, a 40 and a 50.
I want 100, 200, 1,000, 3,000.
I don't want to get.
That's what I want. 3,000.
Yeah, I can understand your whole feeling.
Yeah, what did you guys say?
WHD.
When I first started questioning Copilot and started talking about EVTOL, it at one time threw out a bearish prediction of 3,000%, and it hasn't since then. Now it's been lowballing me every time. $13 by the year 2030. It's like, oh, you son of a gun. It doesn't even want to talk about 100. I swear it was saying 3,000% at one point on Archer. I'm not kidding. That's when I bought. And then after that, it's like, tell me more about 3,000. They're like, well, that's really out of the range of reality. I'm like, but you said it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but with that 300 units a year in 5 years' time, he was projecting a stock price of $268. And I just think, it's a stretch.
That sucks.
At least.
That sucks to think that it's a stretch.
Interesting in that, and they are not Palantir. This is not comparing Archer to Palantir or anything like that. And we've seen the stock rise, and we've seen Palantir stock also, retrace when even you would thought some of the defensive stocks would have stayed hot, so they even were retracing a little bit in that and getting back to like, not to misquote, but like February of 25-ish prices and stuff like that. So, had even retraced back and taken away gains for a good 6 months, if not longer, for some people's portfolios. But where that brand awareness, and it's just, the stock market can also be crazy in a good way sometimes. So it can kind of be weird and angry and kind of make us red as it goes red and all that going on. But large short interest on Archer, I always stick with. And I think once that pressure valve starts to get released and those shorts are turned into longs, I am really curious what that can do as an inverse flipping to the stock price. And then also, if we look at 5 years, I don't know if this will be able to happen in 5 years. I think it's going to be a stretch. And again, I would love to be the eternal optimist, but, I want to try to stay logical for everybody in the community.
Hey, look, WHD, if we are wrong, I'll hold my hands up. I'll happily hold my hands up.
Exactly.
You know what? We'll all be sitting on the beach together. But
that's what I was dreaming. 3,000%.
The if and when, or the when and if of the inclusions to the S&Ps.
That's enough to actually see. That's enough to definitely go see you guys on the beach somewhere.
Institutions that are basically going to have floors in which you're going to.
That's what we need. We need Archer to 3,000.
Help elevate where the stock could go. So, if it's 268, I love that number. It's a nice not round number. So I actually like that.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's so hard to tell.
500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Have a thought of Archer to 100. So if it up and succeeds that, hopefully people are able to kind of weather the upstorm, kind of the melt up, and have the confidence in the company that basically the ride is not over in 5 years, and we still got a lot to see in a positive way from these companies. And also in 5 years, looking at what is the defense revenue, what is, because at that point, if we're already getting programs of records, what has already been established, what are the timelines on those, and like what are the future projections on new programs of records that can come in, and then really both kind of marrying in defense revenue, commercial revenue, and profitability for both of the companies. Yeah.
WHD, I agree with you. I would say.
Oh, lunch sounds good. Lunch Bay.
Be what we're kind of projecting, but I do hope you're right, because if you're right, yeah.
I hope I'm right, and I would hope that you would hope that I'm right.
We've done our work then.
It'd be a great return on the purchases. Absolutely, for sure. Yeah.
Guys, make that wheel spin, please. Smash that subscribe button. We're so close to 5,000. Do you know what? I am so gassed. We'll do a celebration stream at 5,000 subs,
Love it.
And as I said that, didn't we drop? But do smash that like button as well. I am pretty wary that you're getting close to your Super Bowl time. So,
let's see, coming up, gosh, yeah, well, I will say, when you start talking and listening to EVTOLs, the clock kind of goes away. So, I think general kickoff is around the 6:30 time. I know they always drag it out a little bit, but some people, or myself, might settle in here in a little bit and get it started, and maybe keep a side eye out for any EVTOL ads, commercial, DOT kind of. Just drops the information, but it's always great to get on with you, Liam, and chat some of the EVTOLs. So as always,
I just want to address one thing. Please compare Uber to Archer. I have done a video on that, my guy. If you want to jump across and check out that video, Z-Stacker at 600 on the game, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I'm sorry this is a short one today. It's been great speaking to you, Dylan, as always. And yeah, guys, will I take the day off? I don't know will I take the day off, but I'll probably take the day off of Livestream tomorrow.
I hope he takes it off, but I feel like he's gonna be here. But
me too.
Take it off, Liam. You work hard, man.
Right. You should be at the pub.
Right, guys.
You should be just checking, watching this video from the pub.
I might not see you tomorrow, but if not, I'll see you the next day. Right,
Happy birthday, Liam.
Happy birthday, Liam. Oh, okay, so now the way I feel about it. It should be 3,000. Folks, now, I'm not a professional pilot. Never claimed to be one. I'm a simulator pilot. And I've been doing this for, maybe not as long as some, but for a long time. Over 10 years. And I've tried to learn how to fly everything that I can fly, from small little Cessnas to the Dreamliner. And soon I might be able to unlock heavy flight and maybe have to purchase or get the Beluga, super heavy aircraft and military aircraft. And in DCS world, I even learned how to do a little bit of air-to-air combat, right? Okay. Let me get to my point. This technology changes things up so dramatically that I'm mad that it is so undervalued. Because in the last 100 years of aviation, 150 years of aviation, in my mind, there's never been more of a change, the change that's coming with this technology. This is the greatest change in the last 150 years in aviation technology. Again, it enables anybody within 15 minutes to at least learn how to fly the thing. If you didn't know anything, okay, just forget everything about what's on the screens. It's just, hey, it's an emergency. Jump in one of these things. Can you fly it? Yes. You can't say that with any other aircraft. And that's what makes me mad across the board, seeing all of the, especially Archer and Joby, being valued so low. I'm especially sore because I got in at 13 and 17. And I'm really bummed when projections now, even with Anduril and Palantir and NVIDIA and this and that and this and that and this, that it's not already at 100. And that now something like 3,000 seems just stupid. Even though I wasn't the one who initially said it. That's Microsoft Copilot. That one time told me Archer could reach 3,000% increase in the stock price. And I think that's where it should be. Already. It is only going to get more easy, simple, and safe from here on out. These are the leaders. These are the pioneers. They're the ones bringing it to us right now. And again, you can jump in one right now in the simulator, Archer or the Joby. I heard you can get another company's EVTOL, Ascend Technologies, but they're not public yet for investing. But you can get one of the ones. It's more like a Horizon. It's got the in-wing propeller, in-wing turbine, rotor, whatever. So I think it should be 3,000. I think it should already be 100 for both Archer and Joby. And it's really making me mad that it isn't. Especially as an investor now. And so hearing a 267, that'd be great, but that could be far off. That, it's not your fault. It's that it makes me angry, but it does. It should already be as high as some of the other stocks out there. Almost like it should be as high as NVIDIA. It should be as high as Tesla. It should be as high as Palantir. But I hope it does. I really do. And I can't give you any financial advice either. But I would say that seems like a pretty darn good thing to be invested right now, considering as low as it has dipped. Okay. This has been a happy birthday flight around Mayo, Ireland for Liam today for his birthday, the Hustle Brothers. Please, again, the link to their channel is in my description. And I am transporting vehicles again during the day. So some days I'm on and might have a lot to do. Some days like today, nothing to do, which was perfect. Allowed me to get back here and get this set up and do this flight. But the rest of the week, I don't know. I have to play it by ear. I'll try to get something in every day, but if I can't, I can't. So thank you for tuning in today. Again, go join over there, help them get over 5,000, like and subscribe. And I will try to see you tomorrow. Today's show not brought to you by the Waffle House.